Hey, welcome to Let's Talk Nation. I'm your man, Rod Love, and sitting right next to me is none other than the General, Attorney Greg Jackson.
Once again, the song, Brother Love. Hey, you know how we get this thing started every week, man. How's this week for you this past weekend?
Hey, man, this week, I'll tell you the truth, man. I don't know how, man. I hurt my back, but this weekend, man, I stayed in the house all week.
You didn't play golf?
I didn't do nothing.
I'm talking about the hurt your back.
No, man, I don't know. Maybe one of them honeydews, and I didn't catch it or something. But man,
but you trying to get out of future honeydews.
I'm trying to get out of you.
Man, I hurt my back so good. I think one of these honeydews I did, so I can't do no more.
What about your weekend, man?
Man, my weekend was good, man. I was up in Atlanta for a little bit of time, did some training, some intensive behind the scenes litigation training, man, that I am forever grateful for, because I got some new techniques that I'm gonna try at my next trial, man. So everything was good. Everything was good, man.
You did slide in. I mean, I just can't let you go like that.
Yeah.
Pink. No, what is it? The barbecue place.
Oh, Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd.
Yeah, Pink Floyd. Yeah. So I was just telling Brother Love, there is a barbecue spot, and it's in Orlando, but they're starting to put some locations around. They have another one coming up in Winter Park. But this week, Brother Love,
it was good.
This weekend, matter of fact, Sunday, I hit him up twice on Uber Eats. So thank you to Uber Eats and thank you to Pink Floyd. So
all right, well, I gotta go check them out.
That's the first time.
No, man. I've been going to Pink Floyd for years, man.
You know about this place now?
Yeah.
Yeah, but now they're on Uber Eats, and Uber Eats makes the eat. Now it's costly. I ain't gonna lie to you. Go on Uber Eats is gonna be costly. But I went ahead. I had to hit them up twice for the sticky ribs, and for the got me a half rack of ribs and some beans and rice, black beans and rice, and some of the.
He talking up that game now.
Yeah. So listen, man. If Pink Floyd wants to sponsor us, they can do that, and they can send up some vouchers for some of those ribs this way. So
I'm all in. What about you, Doc? What was your weekend like, man?
Oh man, we celebrated my mother-in-law's 82nd birthday.
Very nice.
My sister came up and spent the weekend up here with us, and we just had a family weekend, man. It was great. It was great.
No, man, that's always good. That's always good.
Hey, Brother Jackson, it's a lot in the news, man.
Listen, man, it is a lot in the news. But before we get to the news, Brother Love, we got to let folks know that they're tuned in to two of the most influential voices in Central Florida on a Monday night podcast, Brother Love and Greg Jackson. And on the night, we got Doc Polite with that bone in his hat that is joining us to talk all about all the
things that's a feather. That's a feather.
So if you want to be a part of the night show, all you got to do is hit 407-921-6195. Again, that's 407-921-6195 to talk to two of the most influential voices in Central Florida, Brother Love and Greg Jackson, and Dr. Polite. And Brother Love, if they do so, they might raise their IQs 15 to 20 points. And when Dr. Polite comes in, they may get an extra 2 points on that too. So, Brother Love, at this time, we got to let the people know that it's time to let's
get it on. Well, I tell you, so when we talk about
y'all know my age. This my I'm telling my age now, but this is my Stilo.
That's your
Stilo. All right, Stilo. Well, Stilo, we got some news for you, and this news is about P. Diddy.
So listen, man, we were following this trial when it first came up at the beginning of the summer. It was an 7-8 week trial involving Sean P. Diddy Combs, and it was involving allegations of sex trafficking and racketeering, as well as 2 counts of prostitution. As we know, after the 8 weeks, he was acquitted of the more serious charges, the 2 more serious charges of racketeering and sex trafficking. And so when he was acquitted of those 2 charges, people just thought that he was going to walk out of the courthouse that day. Well, lo and behold, the judge basically said, well, not so fast. We're going to have sentencing in October of 2025. And at that time, you'll determine your fate, but you're going to stay incarcerated until that time. And so I kind of got a feeling, even there, Brother Love, that was an indication of things to come for Sean Puff Daddy Combs, and that the judge didn't let him walk out that day. A lot of people thought that because he was only convicted on the lesser of the 4 charges that he should have been let out of jail. But I just had a gut feeling that wasn't going to happen, Brother Love.
But Brother Jackson, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
After the trial took place, and after he was charged for like you mentioned, the lesser charges, is it customary to keep an individual in custody like that when they can make bail, or was it still deemed that he could be a flight risk even after his charges got reduced. I mean, if you listen to all the talking heads, it came down to it that everybody was anticipating, the experts, that he would more than likely spend somewhere in the neighborhood of 36 to 40 months. That included a halfway house as well. So is it unusual for a person to still be in custody like that?
So yes and no. It's not unusual when that person has committed a crime that they're going to remain incarcerated for. It would have been, if he had been, acquitted of all charges. Yeah, obviously he should have gotten out. But if someone has been convicted of some serious charges, and the court deemed that these were serious charges, and no, that is not unusual for them to stay and to remain in custody as he was.
And again, these were federal charges, right?
Federal charges. Now, the other indication, Brother Love, in addition to the fact that the judge or the court decided he was going to stay incarcerated until the time of sentencing, was the fact that his defense team was filing motions throughout. There was a motion to throw out the jury's verdict. There was a motion for a new trial. All of these things were denied by the court. And on the day of reckoning, on October 3rd of 2025, Sean Combs heard from the judge, and what the judge basically said is that he didn't feel that he was taking these charges seriously. He said that, you showed some remorse, but you didn't show remorse for what you were convicted for, because he kept fighting and different things like that. And I think that the nail in the coffin, but I don't even think it was a nail in the coffin. I think that this kind of just brought it to head, because the judge had made up his mind before he got there. Obviously, he reviewed the sentencing guidelines, determined that they were sufficient for 6 to 7 years of imprisonment. And I knew then that something was going on. But the other thing too is that the prosecution brought out this, Brother Love. Get this: Sean Puff Daddy Combs had speaking engagements set for the week after he was sentenced. So in other words, if he was sentenced on Friday, he had speaking engagements in Miami on Wednesday of this week.
That he was going to get out and go back to a regular routine, which he would have got paid for. So everybody was waiting to hear from him.
Right. In other words, they not holding me is basically what that sent a message of.
And the reverse happened.
Yeah, and the prosecutor said he's not taking this seriously. And the prosecution asked for 11 years. His defense team asked for 14 months, which is just a little over a year. That would have been time served. And so the judge came back and he sentenced him to 4 years and 2 months in prison. And with a year that he spent, that's down to 2 years. He may get some what they call gang time in state prison, but for good behavior, being a part of certain programs. So he may actually spend about 2.5 years in prison. But the more interesting thing that the judge said is that he sent a message to Casey, whatever her name is, as well as Jane Doe or Jane, who testified, that we heard you. I heard you. And he thanked them for being brave enough to come forward with the stories of what they went through. And he also encouraged other women who have been subjected to these types of acts to have the strength to come forward as well. So I think that the court sent a very clear message, not just to individuals who are engaged in prostitution, which that wasn't right. I don't know why you thought that was right, but also to the women who've been involved or who have been victims of these things, that they too should speak out and understand that the courts is a place to where they could potentially have their voices heard.
Well, great. Let me ask you this: do you think that message was enhanced based on the fact that he is a worldwide celebrity?
I mean, listen, R. Kelly, Epstein.
But then, since you say R. Kelly, you bring up an interesting point, though. When you look at P. Diddy, I think, Greg, one of the other things is, man, he had the resources. I don't know that R. Kelly totally.
R. Kelly had the resources. He may not have had a $500 million like Puff did, but R. Kelly, he had. Listen. Anybody that wants to know, and y'all, it might be some people that might get mad at me right now. And I understand if you get upset, but R. Kelly is still one of the greatest recording artists in the history of recording artists in terms of R&B and things like that. His catalog alone is still being played. In Atlanta, I was in Atlanta. I heard him playing R. Kelly in Atlanta, and I was like, R. Kelly still. So I'm saying that to say, based on residuals, based on royalties and things like that, R. Kelly is doing fine. He's most certainly doing fine. So,
well, I tell you what,
was doing fine.
Yeah. But hey, Pete Diddy need to get on his hands and knees every night.
Yeah, no doubt.
And give thanks, because at the end of the day, Greg, he's going to be what is about 36 months or so.
That he has left now.
Yeah, because he did 14 months. He's been in there 14 months. He got 50 months.
Yeah, so 36. So, and like I said, he may get some time taken off of that sentence because of being a part of certain programs and things like that to prevent recidivism. And so he may, like I said, what I've heard is that he may actually spend about 2.5 years. But listen, 2.5 years, that's still 3.5 years that you've been away from family. But, you know.
Yeah, but what a lot of the talk, I mean, even today, reporters was asking the president if P. Diddy is going to be considered for a pardon.
I mean, you know, I think he's spoken on that already. And what he said is that it's going to be difficult based on some of the things that Sean Combs has said.
Okay.
But we do know to some extent that the current president, President Trump, has no issues with issuing pardons for certain high-profile African-American athletes or politicians. I should say athletes or politicians, entertainers. He did it for, I want to say, Kodak Black. He also did it for Kwame Brown.
Yeah.
Kwame Kilpatrick.
Yeah.
And there's another one also that I can't seem to think of right now. But you know, Lil Wayne also was a beneficiary of some type of redress from Donald Trump.
Those guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, Lil Boosie, if he plays his cards right, he may just get that get out of jail free ticket as well.
Great. Let me just ask you this question. I know you don't have a crystal ball. You don't know, but you know, there's been a lot of discussion about redemption.
Okay.
Do you think P. Diddy, the machine around him, or just him, period, is going to have any sincerity about looking back on what has taken place with him and then looking forward to see how he can do better with other people's lives or help?
I mean, I personally think he will. I personally think he will. I mean, even while he was locked up over this last year, they said that he was, you know, I don't know if it was teaching classes or he was, you know, at least encouraging young men while in jail, while incarcerated. I think he will continue to do these things. You know, most certainly, his life is not over. Most certainly, his life is not open. Now, the bigger question is for the victims of the things that have happened, and some people even still don't believe that Cassie and Jane were victims, which is unfortunate, or you know, whatever the case may be. But for those individuals, they don't feel that the time that he got was sufficient or enough for the pain that they went through and the pain that they're going to endure for the rest of their lives. And so, you know, no one is going to be completely happy with this verdict, but I think that it most certainly sent a very clear message with regards to the seriousness that the court placed on how the jury ruled in this case.
You know, Greg, you're the one-stop shop.
Yeah.
And so you made me think about something else that I got to ask you, and I think you addressed this before on a couple of our shows. Greg, now that he has been convicted on the charges that he was convicted on, and normally what we see is those civil matters coming after the criminal part. Are these the criminal charges that he got indicted on? Are those enough to give strength to those? I mean, and I know you don't have that crystal ball, but what do you think is going to take place?
Listen, I don't need a crystal ball to tell you what I think on this one because we've already seen it happen. Look at O.J. Simpson. Yeah. O.J. Simpson went through a criminal trial, and although he was exonerated, although he was found not guilty or acquitted, they used what came out in that criminal trial against him so that the Goldberg and the Brown family were able to get a $33 million judgment against O.J. Simpson, most certainly with a conviction on Sean Combs and this history and this and this pattern of doing certain things and people coming out. They're most certainly going to use that as a way to. I think that there are going to be more lawsuits settled. I don't think you're going to see any of those cases come to the light, which I think is probably the wise thing for him. Yeah. If at any time Sean Combs needed Shannon Sharp's attorney, now would be the time. That'd be, listen, settle it. We don't need none of that hitting the light of day. Because if it does, there's probably going to be more things that come out and more people that come out on top of that as well.
Well, hey man, he just needs to drop to his knees and say some prayers. But Greg, here's something that hits us at home, man. Yeah. You had the honor and privilege to moderate the District 5 race for the city of Orlando, and it's three women that are in that race. The three that are in that race, Greg.
Yeah, I mean, so you have the current sitting commissioner, interim commissioner, which is Shan Rose. You also have the former commissioner for that district, which is Regina Hill, and then you also have community advocate LaWanda Gelzer. And it's going to be an interesting race. No one at this time can really call how that race is going to turn out. But there was a forum or debate held last week. Tiger Bay, and we know Tiger Bay because we actually we actually moderated a forum for them for State Senate 15 and House seat 40, and Virginia Hill showed up, Luana Gelder showed up, but Shan Rose did not show up for this forum. And so, a lot of people are starting to talk about what's taking place in this area. There's starting to be a lot of buzz about this race above and beyond what we normally hear for whatever reason it is that we hear those things. We've encouraged the candidates if at any time they would like to speak to us, that they can call in, talk to us, or whatever the case may be. And we still encourage them to do so because the election is coming up in November, if I recall right.
You're right. And you know what? Just so that for those folk who are watching the show, you can dial in 407-921-6195. But Greg, I'm curious. You moderated a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And what stuck out to you with those candidates as it relates to the platform issues?
What stuck out to me is, I think that they all had a good grasp of the issue, which is always important. The other thing too is I think that each of them understood and grasped the importance of making use of the monies that can and should come into that community. Mm-hmm. The bigger question is, how do you get those monies and spread those monies out to the individuals in the community? The other thing too is that a lot of folks in that area still have a grave concern about what we refer to, as gentrification. Mm-hmm. And what they're saying is that gentrification is occurring through rents being raised to where they can no longer afford to live in those areas. There was also some questions about CRA funds being used, and that is always something of interest to us because the white paper that was constructed back in 2017, put together plans on how do you use monies like that in underserved communities to address poverty and crime and things of that nature. So the same things that we were talking about in 2017, District 5 is still talking about. I don't want to say struggling because I don't want to, but they're still. Well, I say what I want to say. They're still struggling with those things now. To be quite honest.
But when you talk about gentrification, Greg, I think it's important for us to also lay out the fact that when you hear these kind of conversations, it's a focus on affordable housing.
Yeah,
it's a focus on affordable housing, and I know, Greg, and this goes back, I don't know, man, 10 years or more when Paramore development was taking place. Mm-hmm. And I remember it like it was yesterday. People were told, move out now, we're going to build this up, and you can come back. But what they didn't tell them was
how much it was
going to cost.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering if anybody's asking those questions now. And then just from the standpoint of being reasonable, you can't expect to move out and then you see the development, the level of development. Because I know it was a young lady, it was on one of the news channels. She went to one of the council meetings and she said, hey, I moved out with the promise that I can move back in, and it's not affordable. And somebody asked her how much was she paying for rent where she was living, and she said something that I can't know exactly, but it was anywhere from $500-$600 that she was paying. But Greg, you're not going to get any place for $500 or $600.
Hey, listen, man, you can't even rent a room for $400 or $500 nowadays.
You're right.
And I mean, even if you have a roommate in a 2-bedroom apartment, you're still paying anywhere from $1,000 to $1,200, is my understanding. Mm-hmm. So I mean, that area historically has been undervalued, and I think most certainly underappreciated. And now folks are starting to come into that area. And they're putting in the dollars in the development, but to the detriment of the people who grew up in that area, who have roots in that area.
But we're talking about IQs going up a little bit more tonight. Yeah. And with that, come on, let's go ahead and go to school a little bit on this, because there's a difference between affordable housing and workforce housing. Yeah. If you would, Greg, help us out, man.
I mean, part of what affordable housing is, it means that you set certain levels. You have to have certain income levels in that area. Workforce housing is more so geared towards individuals who are in an area who not necessarily can't afford, but can't find housing in that area.
And it also encourages public-private partnerships.
That's right. And I was going to say, for instance, Florida Hospital, Florida Hospital is no more. Advent Health is looking for nurses and doctors, and it's difficult for them to find nurses and doctors because of the housing situation and being able to find housing in and around where they are, because people want to work close to where they live, or be able to work close to where they live, or where their kids go to school. And so what workforce housing does is it allows for you to bring in professionals into those areas with housing and to meet their housing needs through partnerships. I think Disney did the same thing as well out in the Lake Buena Vista area. And like I said, I know that that Advent Health is looking to do those things. And there's another company too to have workforce housing to bring individuals into those areas.
And I will tell you, man, and this is a plug for the Wendover Group. Jonathan Wolfman, the principal of the Wendover Development Company. Man, this guy is great. I got to tell you, man, when you look at the developments, he has senior apartments, he has affordable housing all around the country, but let's just talk about Central Florida.
Yeah.
Great. This is a guy who is meticulous, that he just don't build them and let them go. Great. This guy builds them, and he goes and does an inspection on his own properties, man, to make sure that there's a level of engagement with the property managers in the community, but also making sure that people are living in places where it gives them pride, man. So I got to give a plug for the Wendover Group, man.
I mean, listen, man, anytime someone does things the right way, we have to promote that, because there are a lot of folks out there who aren't doing it the right way. And so, big ups to the Wendover Group for, for having that level of, of attention and pride in what they do.
And he knows how to create those public-private partnerships,
which is important.
Yes,
it's important. So, but listen, brother, speaking of public-private partnerships, it appears that the school board in Des Moines, Iowa, as well as the school district in Pennsylvania, entered into a public-private partnership with a search firm, and this search firm actually identified a candidate who became the superintendent for the school boards in those areas, and it didn't bring anything but trouble, Brother Love.
But Greg, you and I was having this conversation off air, trying to figure out, man, how did he slip through the cracks not once but twice?
So for those who may not have heard the story, and if you haven't heard the story, if you want to go to my TikTok page, that's gregory.jackson.esq, you will see the not the full video, it's only a minute and some change long, but you'll see the video of Ian Roberts. Now, who is Ian Roberts? Ian Roberts is a former Olympian. He ran for Guyana back in 1980, somewhere in the 1980 frame for the Olympics, maybe 1996. I may have gotten that wrong. And he had worked himself up to be superintendent of schools in two school districts. The problem was, not the problem. When he applied for these jobs, and on his LinkedIn page, what he basically said is that he had graduated from Morgan State University, that he had a master's degree from MIT. He also had a doctorate degree, or was working on a doctorate dissertation from some other area. He also had received an award as Principal of the Year from George Washington University, and other accolades that allowed the school board in those areas to hire what they thought was a highly qualified individual to lead their school district.
Then go ahead and go and break to see what happened there. I mean, and Greg, this would have never come to light had, I can't say never, but when
never would have come to light. They had no reason to look at this.
Yeah.
But what happened was, back in early September of 2025, Ian Roberts, who is not a citizen of the United States, was actually subject to an ICE investigation, was arrested by ICE. At that time, it was determined, and ICE found out, and all these things started to come forward, that number one, Ian Roberts had an extensive criminal record. Not only did he have charges for guns, but also for narcotics. In addition, it came out that Ian Roberts did not graduate from Morgan State University. He attended Morgan State University, but he did not graduate from Morgan State University. It also came out that if he didn't graduate from there, MIT basically said, we have no record of an Ian Roberts in our school. And George Washington University said, we never gave him any Principal of the Year award.
Greg, what do you think brought this to light with ICE?
Something must have triggered with his immigration status, and it was probably due to the investigation or the charges that he had for firearms and narcotics.
Okay.
And what ICE is trying to do is they're trying to get bad actors out of the United States. Now, some people disagree with how they're doing it, going house to house or whatever the case. And I'm not saying this, I'm just saying, but some people may disagree with it. But what they are tasked with doing is, if someone is in this country and they are criminals or criminal minded, then they need to be removed. And that apparently Ian Roberts apparently tricked the wire for ICE, and that's why he was arrested. And when he was arrested, get this, the city of Des Moines rushed to his defense. The parents of the students in the schools that he was over as the superintendent came to his defense, and they said that this was racially motivated. It shouldn't have happened. And now the school board, the parents, and everybody else, they have egg on their face because apparently this guy who was not who they thought he was and who he represented himself.
But Greg, that goes to something that you and I often do as well, and that is when we hear stuff, when stuff comes to us pretty fast, we try to make sure we do our due diligence and see when they ran out, man, and started defending this guy, they didn't get the whole story.
But no. And here's the thing also for people who say, well, he actually, his attorney has actually issued his letter of resignation because, obviously, he's been caught. The gig is up. Let's say it that way. The gig is up for him. He is currently incarcerated. He is going to be on charges of fraud as well as the immigration violation, because anytime you put false information into a government application, because remember, working with the school board is a governmental entity. He placed false information into a governmental process to get these jobs for the school board. So now they're going at them for fraud and all.
I wonder what happens, Greg, because he was in a system where you get a pension.
Yeah,
he was in a system.
That's forfeited.
But I had to lay that out. But then the story doesn't end there.
No.
Greg, continue with the story as it relates to the search firms that got paid doing the headhunter search.
So here's the real crazy part. We can't sit here and say that the school board, the school board members or the superintendent of these, but the school board members that they are wholly at fault for Ian Roberts being at the station. These schools hired a search firm, and these search firms were supposed to check the qualifications and check the background of Ian Roberts. And it appears that these search firms, similar to the political pundits who were trying to call the races, for the presidential race in 2020 and 2024, that they failed miserably because they did not do the due diligence that they were paid to do. And because of that, the school districts are now facing audits, facing potential lawsuits, facing potential sanctions and fines because they allowed this person to be in that school system. And now these search firms are going to be subject, hopefully, to litigation for failing to properly vet this individual who clearly had a criminal record and clearly was not qualified to be in that position.
You make me think about this, Greg. This other part about this is the school district or the school board. Everybody was known that he wasn't an American.
What you talking about, brother?
But the question I'm coming to is the question that has been in place for some years now, whereby, what is that, I-9, Greg, or when you're employing
I-9.
Right, yeah, you're talking about the for the visa.
Yeah,
for visa stuff.
Verification. What is it, Doc? It's the I-9, right?
Yeah, I-9 form. Immigration verification.
You wonder if
you verify that you did things.
But
you know what? I just thought about, guys. Think of all the other people that's going to now get caught because of this audit.
I don't know if anyone else would. I hope no one else used this.
Did you follow the scandal about the nursing school here in Florida?
Now that was
they were selling LPN license degrees, and these people didn't even go, and it was like hundreds of nurses nationwide that did this.
Hey, Doc, we're gonna take a quick phone call. Caller, how are you doing this evening?
I'm fine, Mr. Jackson. How are you doing?
Well, that's Brother Love.
It's Brother Love, but Brother Jackson is sitting right next to me. How you doing, Ms. Gelson?
Okay. I'm fine. Am I on the air yet?
Yes, you
I
are.
hope not. Because I couldn't hear the show. So go ahead. I'm here. Talk to me.
No. We got you on. So who do we have the pleasure of speaking to? Introduce yourself to the folks.
Well, my name is LaWanna Gelser, and I always introduce myself as one of the most civically engaging citizens you'll ever meet in the world. And I'm the only LaWanna Gelser in the world. And I'm the candidate for Orlando City Commissioner, District 5.
Well, Ms. Gelser, we appreciate you for calling. We have put the invitation out to candidates in that race time and time again, and you are the first one to give us a call. So we appreciate you for giving us the courtesy and the consideration to talk to us tonight.
No, it's my pleasure. And since I'm the first, and since I'm on the first on the ballot, that should let all your listeners know Gelser's not afraid of calling in and talking to people and bringing the truth. That's what it's all about. We can't hide our hands. Don't rush and hide our hands. We got to be out there and let the community hear what's going on and inform them that the best decision they can make, this is me, is LaWanna Gelser. It's that simple.
Ms. Gelser, here's what I'd like for you to do for us this evening. Since the world is opened up to you and all those District 5 listeners, tell people what your platform is.
Oh, my platform is quite a bit of things, but a lot of people know me for my environmental work. And so I always tell people that one thing I'm proud of the accomplishment is my ability to work with people on a state, local, and federal level. And that in the last 2.5 years, successfully, I've been able to bring over $5 million to the city of Orlando and surrounding communities, especially to serve our Black and brown communities. So I know how to find the money. So we're going to talk about a platform. I'm all about transportation, but of course, infrastructure. And I'm talking about District 5, and that we're always at the bottom of the list as far as receiving stuff. I definitely want to address the housing crisis because I live in Paramore now. I grew up here, and I'm gonna just be honest with you. We got 5 homeless shelters, and even today, the city of Orlando voted to give another $150,000 to the Coalition of the Homeless and another $150,000 to the Christian Service Center. I don't mind giving funding, but when you look at everybody's performance, they're getting a D in the work that they're doing in our community. So you can't keep giving money to organizations that are failing the community and the people that they're supposed to serve. I'm always about enhancing youth, veterans, and senior programs. That's the foundation, our young people and our seniors and our veterans. My dad was a veteran of the Korean War. And my seniors, that's what I said, $3.5 million to put refrigerators, stoves, all kinds of appliances in the seniors to keep them independent. That's what we were able to do last year. I've always worked with my young people. I've had young people go off to college. We were state national champions, the cheerleader program that I work with, and the football players that I work with. So keep going. You want me to keep going?
No, you're good. So, but listen, we have a couple questions for you. I had the honor and privilege of moderating a forum, a fireside chat with yourself and the other 2 candidates. And one of the questions that came up talked about, the gun violence in the community. And it seems like every day, we look at the news, and I'm not just saying here in Orlando, but just across the world, we're hearing about issues of people walking into churches, people walking into schools, people, walking around with firearms and different things like that. We know that there are bad actors out there. Would you be willing, or do you have any plan of how do we address identifying individuals who may be a threat before they become a threat, such as a school shooter and things of that nature?
Well, unfortunately, yes, I do. But we need to also don't forget that this state just became an open carry state. So while we are talking about gun violence, we have not put things in place to protect the community that are being affected. So I'm constantly telling people, no more guns. The average citizen, when you add all the guns, why do we have an average of 3 guns in our home? But we don't have any money set aside for mental health counseling. No money set aside for good, innovative youth programs. No money set aside for that. But we can buy guns. We have enough guns on our street. Now we need to put the money and the effort into, as a math major, that bell curve. We're not going to save everybody, but I guarantee you, if you put the money in the middle, that group that's in the middle, those young people that are the CB students, those young people that are needing somebody to talk to them about bullying, those young people and people on the street with mental health issues, I guarantee you'll see a reduction in crime and gun violence.
Yeah. So now let me ask you this question: in terms of when the election is, and kind of what people need to look out for. When is this election for the District 5 Orlando race?
Running is right around the corner. It's actually Tuesday, November the 4th.
Is it that quick?
Less than 29 days. Let's make it happen. So yeah, it's that quick. That's a lot of people don't understand about the city of Orlando policies when it comes to running the election. It moved once Mayor Dyer became became the mayor. They moved from all the rest of the municipalities because it used to be in March with all the other like Town of Eatonville, Winter Park, Alphafa. All of the elections are in March. The city stands alone, and the city of Orlando is the only city in the Florida that conducts its own election. Not the supervisor election, the city clerk, which is appointed by the mayor.
Ms. Gelser, this is Rod. Let me ask you this question. And here's something that I really want to listen to your answer. We look across the board in politics now, and it's so polarized that you don't have D's talking to R's talking to D's. Do you believe that if you're elected, that you can actually work across the aisle to bring everything that you're talking about, affordable housing, look at mental health, and also public safety? What position would you take?
Actually, a person who might be registered as a Democrat, I've been working across the aisle all my life. I don't know how else to do anything. So I don't let nobody tell me who I can work with. I work with individuals who share the same interests and look at results. And that has nothing to do always with your party affiliation. It has to do how you were raised, what you believe in. So absolutely, I can work across the aisle because I've been doing it. I wouldn't be able to get federal funding in this climate if I wasn't able to work across the aisle. It doesn't make sense.
Thank you, Ms. Gelser. Thank you. Appreciate that answer.
That's a great point. Hey, also at the Fireside Chat, there was a lot of talk about monies that's coming into District 5 and given to companies or businesses, but those businesses get the money and they disappear. What is your position on community redevelopment agency dollars and how those dollars are being used in the community currently?
That's about accountability, and that's why I said, as the next commissioner, that one could not continue under my watch. With CRA dollars, with 80% of the district of District 5, 80% of that is in the CRA zone. Meaning the money that they're talking about, $33 million, and all we see is on the east side of I-4. That has to stop. That's why we have to have accountability. You bringing the money in and you talk, but you don't see the results. And that's why I said the opportunity with all the venues that we've been able to see built, the millions of dollars, all I saw was a couple of people being able to park cars. So it's not no economic development that's been coming to District 5. It's been sucked dry. And because it's been sucked dry, it looks like a third world country when you drive through it. But if you drive where the venues are, everything is nice. When you drive by the UCF campus, it's nice, but no one talks about we lost $93 million from the first arena, and then you gave $13 million worth of property to the downtown campus for UCF and Valencia. They don't pay property taxes. So yes, it's nice to have a downtown campus. However, the average citizens and students after COVID go to school online. We go to school online mostly. So I'm just looking at the money that has been wastefully spent with different organizations. I'm going to bring up the homeless. We just spent in February when we fought against giving the Christian Service Center $3 million to have 2 buses to sleep people on for 2 years. 41 people for 2 years.
So wait. Stop. Hold on, wait. $3 million for 2 buses to sleep 41 people where?
We asked that question. We still, sometimes I go and look to see where the bus gonna be at. Because it shouldn't be this should not be moving. For who spends that kind of money? So who really benefited from that? Oh, wait a minute, they don't get to stay on the bus all day. They only at the evening time, and you never know who you might be sleeping by. So women and children and men, the 21, if each bus holds 21 people, so it has 21 beds, and you don't even have a kitchen, you have a bathroom to use, not really a shower. That's what the city just spent $3 million on. And my opponent that's currently in office led the charge, and she said because she was homeless at one time. This is inhumane. This is not how you treat people. This is a waste of tax dollars.
Ms. Gelzer, you said a word that Greg and I are all too familiar with, and that word that you said is looking to get results. And the only way that you can determine if you're getting results, if you benchmark and measure where you're at first to determine where you want to go. And so you said something tonight that really resonates, and that is you're looking to get results.
I'm looking to get results, but I also have brought results to our community. And I will never stop. I'm the only candidate that's been in the race. These two have sat in office and they want to go back. It's a job for them. It's a cause for me. It's a cause of serving. It's all about doing the right thing. So once again, don't keep putting the same people in office when you ain't got no results. Gelzer got results without being in office. Imagine what she can do when she's in office. And she has relationships with all the commissioners. We are never going to always agree on anything and everything. However, I'm able to work with you. I'm able to negotiate. As a businesswoman of 45 years, I know how to strategically get stuff done, but also respect what you bring to the table. And I'm not just going to keep giving away money, hoping something might happen. This is not the outcome, and this is not what the district deserves. And so we've had both of those commissioners meet and take pictures. I don't do that. That's why I say you don't see everything I do on Facebook. But if you need to know, call me. If you need to know, find out what I bring. I'm not lying about the money. I'm not. But I can tell you this much. The other ones, we've seen them not even put protective measures in place to protect the district that they represented. That's a lack of leadership. That's a lack of not understanding what's going on. And we don't need that anymore. How much more do the district need to suffer for bad leadership? It has to stop.
Well, Ms. Gelzer, we appreciate you dialing into the show. And boy, you gave us a lot to think about.
And can I say this in code?
Yes, ma'am.
To each and every voter, do your own research on each candidate. Do your research on each candidate and find out the truth. My late mom and late dad always used to say this: what's done in the dark will come out in the light. However, mouth says a lot. People need to know what's going on in the upcoming elections and what each candidate is facing. And stop with don't believe the hype. People got court dates. People got a trial that's coming up. Ask the hard questions. Stop. Don't believe this stuff. Please, people, don't keep believing that everything is going to be okay if somebody gets back in. Do your research. And in your research, you will find both candidates. There's one that has a no rehire with the city. The one has a no rehire with the town of Eastville. The other one has 7 criminal state charges that they're facing. Wake up, people. We deserve better. LaWanna is not perfect, but LaWanna can pass all her federal background checks and have. I would be getting the funding if I could not pass the background check. And now with the current administration, it's even harder to put money down. It is harder.
Yeah.
So being held accountable, I'm not afraid of. Give me a chance and I'll show you what I can do for the entire district.
Well, listen, we appreciate you for calling in. Why don't you tell the folks once again where they can vote, when they can vote, and also where they can get some additional information about your campaign?
I would say this: LaWanda Gelzer is the only one in the country, in the world. My phone number is 407-953-5599. Call me. My website is LaWandaGelzer.com. That's LaWanna. G like in giraffe, EL, Z like in zebra, ER. And the election is coming up on November 4th, and early voting is October the 27th through November the 2nd. It's clear we only have one choice. Since I'm the first on the ballot, I'm not afraid to call in. I'm not afraid to be held accountable. All I'm saying is, people, let's wake up and put Gelzer in office so she can do what we need to do together.
Any thoughts on the use of certain ballots and things like that, and what you would encourage people to do in terms of the ballot safety?
I know what harvesting ballots is all about. Currently, Regina used to use Sandra Lewis, and she goes out. She's a ballot broker. She gets paid thousands of dollars to deliver absentee ballots. Well, this last election in May, guess who hired Sandra Lewis? Janika Rose to pick up ballots. And on top of that, she hired Sandra Lewis to work for the city of Atlanta. And with the Electric Daisy money, she gave her defunct Ebony Beauty School $3,300, which is outside the service area for what the money was for, and she's beauty. This is what is going on with these two opponents or candidates. That's just a little bit. Do your research, people. Do your research. Mom says a lot.
Well, Ms. Gelzer, we thank you for calling in, and you just go ahead and continue to keep up the work that you're doing.
I appreciate it, my brother. And thank you for the opportunity, both of y'all. Greg and Ryan, it's a pleasure to be on your show. Thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Good luck to your election.
Okay.
All righty. Bye-bye.
All right.
So listen, we've had our first candidate for Orlando District 5 to give us a call. Doc, that's your former stomping ground, man.
Yeah.
And let's not be remiss to say that this forum is open for all of the candidates.
Listen, we just gave the number and said, anybody wants to call. That's how it always is.
One of the things I can say about LaWanda Gelzer is that she has always been a champion of that community. Now, I don't care what her detractors say. She has always had that community at heart. And she said a lot of truths in what she was sharing. And that was my frustration when I was acting over there and trying to help. The help that they need, they don't choose that, it seems. And I don't understand that. And I think a lot of it is uneducated voters about how the system operates and what they are actually losing. So I commend her for even running again. She's better than me, because I wouldn't keep swinging for people that seem, but that's why she's LaWanda Gelzer. So
but to your point, Doc, to your point, and Brother Love, and we talk about this all the time. We talk about those individuals who run for public office, they lose and we never see them again.
Yeah.
To your point, Doc, that's something that we can't say about LaWanda Gelzer.
No, she helped those people. She helped those people over in Griffin Park with all of that environmental issue, where they were trying to cover it up. She did not back up from that or allow it to go unchecked and unchallenged. Okay, that's work. She's done the work.
You know what, Greg?
Okay? And she's done the work without the title.
Yeah.
So give her a chance. District 5, y'all give her a chance to get in there and do something different. Because the two you had in the last two cycles, that just, well, I'm not gonna disparage anybody, because I do want to say that, just think about what you want.
Yeah.
Because you can't wait for people to come and rescue you when they show you not interested in being rescued. I damn sure wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Y'all know I'm just straight up. I don't go over there anymore. I don't say anything. I don't bother them. They don't bother me. Because when you show me who you are, I believe you.
Yeah.
And kudos again to Luana. I've known her a long time. I've seen her do the work. And in this race right now, if I was voting over there, that's the only person who would get my vote, period. Point blank, bottom line.
That's saying a lot, Doc. That's saying a lot, man.
Hey, as a matter of fact, we talk about this forum being open with Let's Talk Nation. We've already mentioned, it's open to the other candidates. But, interesting point. We have Orange County Mayor that's going to be running for office, and there's 3 individuals that's going to be running. And, I want to go ahead and extend that invitation to our clerk of the court, Tiffany Moore Russell, City Commissioner Myra Uribe, and also former Congresswoman Stephanie Murphy.
Yeah. Now, you stated there with the 3. There's also a gentleman that's running as well. I don't know his name. I apologize to him, whoever he is.
Chris, is it?
Yeah, but to the gentleman also, and again, I apologize that I don't know your name. I could easily look on the website, and I'll do it next week so that I can at least say your name.
When did he get in the race, Greg?
Oh, he's been in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's like one of the first people to jump into it. As a matter of fact, he ran against Jerry Demings the last cycle, and so he's running right now too.
Penna.
I don't think that's it.
Okay.
I'll tell you. Yeah, keep talking. I'll tell you.
Yeah. So this forum is always open, and we like to invite those candidates. And I mean, you heard Ms. Gelzer, give the whole spiel. I don't know how much time we gave up for that one, but man, it's all about being educated and being informed about the candidates you go and vote for. So,
but listen, here's the thing, though, and people need to understand this. We gave Ms. Gelzer the time that she needed to talk about her candidacy and her campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we do with everybody. We give you that opportunity to introduce yourself to people,
right?
Instead of other people trying to define who you are. So yeah, I mean, she did
and educating us to some things that we might not have known. And I'll give you a classic example. Commissioner Myra Uribe, when she came on and she talked about Visit Orlando, things that we had no clue about.
Right, that's right. So for that Orange County mayor race, and I apologize, we have 2 gentlemen in there. You have Randy Faust, who recently got into the race back in July of 2025. You have Stephanie Murphy, who got into the race July of 2025. You have Myra Uribe, who got into the race May of 2025. You have Chris Messina, who entered the race in April of 2025, and that's what I want to say is the one that ran against Jerry Demings, Mayor Demings. And then you also have Tiffany Moore Russell, who was first out the gate. She announced back in March of 2025.
Okay. Well, once again, I mean, we can't stress it enough. This is an open forum, and we invite those candidates to come let people know what you're all about.
Everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome under this. What the Republican Party?
The big tent.
Yeah, everybody's welcome under this tent.
All right. Hey, Greg, I want to hit a couple of things, man, before we go off, man. Orange County Public Schools decision on hunger for property.
So we talked about this last week. The Orange County School Board was going to vote on an MOU, or memorandum of understanding, between Orange County School Board and the the Dr. Phillips Foundation to purchase land that the school board owns in the town of Eatonville for $1 million, and there were some other things too. The town council in Eatonville came out because the mayor of Eatonville had indicated that she was in support of this plan. The town said the other town council members, in a vote of 4-1, said that they were not in favor of this, that they wanted the opportunity to purchase the property themselves in some form or fashion. And so the school board took that up for a vote last Tuesday. Now, the interesting thing is that in June of 2025, the school board kind of tipped its hand and said that they wanted to do a lease purchase between the town of Eatonville and itself, so that the town of Eatonville could get this property and do what it would like. But in the meeting on the 30th, on September 30th that just passed, the school board took a different direction. And what they indicated is that they were in favor of, and they voted unanimously with the board members that were there to move forward with the MOU, which is not binding. It's just a memorandum of understanding with the MOU. But there was something that was interesting that was said in that meeting, and it still has stuck with me. First, the school board attorney said that the town of Eatonville was not really putting forth a plan to purchase the property themselves, and he said in passing something about a lease purchase agreement. I have intimate knowledge that for over a year, the town of Eatonville, through the town attorney, was working on a lease purchase agreement with the school board. So I don't understand what the school board attorney was talking about, and I would have welcome opportunity to speak to him about that. The other thing too, that there was one of the school board members who basically accused Eatonville, and I'm just going to say this because I didn't like it. I'm not from Eatonville, but I didn't like what I heard from that school board member. But basically accused the town of Eatonville of always coming with this handout, as if they just wanted a handout. And I thought that that was somewhat disrespectful to the town of Eatonville. Regardless of what's going on between the mayor and the council, that mayor and the council, they are, they work together, they try to do things together. They just have a disagreement on this point. But to sit there and to intimate or to make a statement to the effect that the town of Eatonville just wants a handout, I think was disrespectful by that school board member. If I remember her name, I may call her name next week. And I may actually go to the video again just so I can see that. But I thought that was very disrespectful to the town of Eatonville by that school board member. I'll tell you who it wasn't. Who was? It was not Melissa Bird. I'll tell you that's who it was.
And that's our representative.
So I'll tell you that it wasn't her.
Yeah.
But there was another school board member, and like I said, I thought that her statement was very disrespectful to that town.
Yeah. Hey, and you know what, Greg, and I got to give a plug, man, with the town of Eatonville, and this is somebody you and I are very familiar with, and I think they got a catch in their new city manager, Marlon Daniels. I think he's going to do great things for the town, and he just needs time.
Listen, he don't even need a lot of time.
Just give him a little time.
Yeah, just to get his feet on the ground, because he's a sharp
absolutely.
Young man.
But Greg, I know you talked about that, but how many years has this been coming? Because you and I, some years ago, was engaged in looking at the development of that property, and then Holstein, Manny, I can't remember what Manny's last name is, but that beautiful building that you see coming up out of the ground, this has been going on 12 or some odd years now, right?
So I've been involved with the town of Eatonville for 11 years now. It was in place before that. But I know there's been a number of years. I think I've heard like back as far as 2000, in the year 2000, when the town sued so that they could actually, take off the education restriction on the property and some other stuff. So yeah, it's been in the making for a number of years, and we've watched firsthand and otherwise how this has come about. So,
man, I just hope and pray, man, that this is a new beginning. That Dr. Phillips works well with the town of Eatonville, because Greg, all those permitting has to be approved by the town, right?
Yes, it does.
Hey, Doc, you heard that, right? So hopefully the spirit of cooperation is going to be up front, man, and we can see some great things.
Listen, I'm going to say this: the Community Redevelopment Agency over in Eatonville right now is as strong as I've ever seen.
Mike Johnson.
Mike Johnson is the executive director now, and that agency right now is the strongest I've seen it. They're moving on real projects where dirt is being turned. They are aggressively trying to bring redevelopment to that community to improve and better that community.
You know what I got to tell you about Mike? Mike has been there before. And here's one of the things that people sometimes don't realize, Greg, is when you get the opportunity to go back and do it again, you learn from your past.
Yeah.
And I think Mike Johnson, man, can help push that town forward.
Yeah. Listen, I work closely with Mr. John. Matter of fact, I was on the phone with him today.
Okay.
and we probably talk at least 3, 4, if not 5 times a week. So I will tell you the things that are being put in place. I truly and believe that he has the heart of what's best for that community at the forefront of his mind.
You got 3 things going on here, man. The leadership of that town council. You have the leadership of Marlon Daniels as the city manager, and I think Mike Johnson. I think you got all the pieces that you need. The only thing that needs to come to the table, Greg, is that spirit of cooperation and working together, and I think they have it.
Well, you know what else they have too?
What's that?
They have a general counsel that is fearless over there.
Oh, and that general counsel.
A general counsel who is fearless, who listen, if you want to get it done, that general counsel over there will help you get it done.
Hey, and if y'all don't know, we always be talking about that doggone general. The general sitting to my left. And Greg, how long have you been involved with the town of Eatonville now, man? 11 years?
11 years. 11 years. Yeah.
Hey, so that's the other piece. Hey, and we can't leave out, come on, man, our buddy, the chief of police over there.
Oh, yeah.
Can't leave out Stanley Murray. So, Chief Murray, keep up the good job that you're doing. Town of Eatonville, we're looking forward to some great things from you.
Listen, we're going to listen, but next week, we got to talk about this Black Book Bash in Publix, because that is ending up or turning out to be somewhat of a debacle. So we'll talk about that next week. But the Black Book
Bash in public.
We'll talk about that next week.
I'll tell you what, y'all tune in next week because Attorney Jackson don't have to go home.
But you got to get out of here.
We'll see y'all next week on Let's Talk Nation.